A Karen comes into the restaurant that my parents own and claims that she is the owner's wife. I'm an 18-year-old male. My parents own a little restaurant where we sell snacks, cakes, candies, and various fast foods. It was named after my grandparents, so let's just call it Joe's. Whenever I get free time, I usually hang out there with my friends to have something, and I do pay, which also encourages my friends to pay up too, which I earn by working at Joe's, especially on the weekends, as it becomes a bit busy then, like serving people or taking orders from them. And yes, we do have employees. My dad allows me to keep the tip money which customers give after eating, and anyways, my dad also pays me for the hours I work. Very few of the regular customers know that I am the son of the owner, and my parents, the owners, also work there themselves, but people often tend to think of them as employees. One day, on a weekend, a woman, I don't know, she might be in her 30s or 40s, entered with her bratty kid, who I suppose was around 13 years old or so. Now, as it was a weekend, it was a bit busy. She was told to sit on one of the waiting chairs. Around 20 minutes or so later, a table was ready for her. She sat there, and I went to ask her for her orders. Now, I don't exactly remember what she ordered, but it might have been a sandwich or something, and I went to the kitchen to give her the order. Now, I was just standing near the register to look for someone if they needed anything, and her bratty kid was running around screaming, running into people, stepping on people's feet, and even touching their food. The mother, as usual, didn't seem to care and was now on her phone. Now, I was very annoyed by this, and I held the kid by his hand while he was running. I told him not to run around in a pretty harsh voice, and the kid started crying and ran back to his mother. His mother was fuming because of this and came to me stomping, and this is how the conversation went down. The entitled mother said, "How dare you touch my child?" Me, he was running around and was annoying other people. Didn't you see? He was touching their food. Entitled mother, "Well, he's a child. He can do whatever he wants to do." Me, "Well, yeah, but not in my supervision." Entitled mother, "Do you even know who I am?" Me thinking, here we go again. I knew what was going to happen, so I thought of playing along. Me, "No, ma'am, I don't." Entitled mother, "Well, then you should know I am the wife of the owner, and you have made a huge mistake, and I will make sure your face will never be seen here again because you're getting fired." Me thinking in my mind, I thought she would go for a sister or a friend, but she went for a wife, and now we're gonna have some fun. "Ma'am, I don't think you even know his..." She cuts me off. Entitled mother says, "His name is..." Insert my dad's name here. I was kind of shocked that she knows my dad's name. Very few people knew that anyway. Me, "Ma'am, I'm very sorry I acted rude towards your son, but please, don't get me fired. It's the only job that I have." Entitled mother, "Well, you should have thought about that before you touched my son." Me, "But ma'am, he was annoyed." She cut me off again. "Shut up!" She went to the register and asked for the manager. My dad came out and talked to her about what happened. "Your employee has been harassing my son. I want him fired now." My dad looked at me and said, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I can't just fire him without any reason." The entitled mother said, "Do you even know who you're talking to? I'm the wife of the owner of Joe's, and I can't stand the employee here." My dad got the biggest grin on his face. "Why are you laughing? I'm serious." Dad says, "I'm telling you, again, I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused. Would you like to have a refund?" The entitled mother went into total rage mode and said, "You know what? I'm calling my husband and complaining about you and your employee. I will get both of you fired." Now, the way that she got my dad's phone number is because we had it on a board outside as we gave home delivery so that people would order on call and you would get it dropped off. So she called that phone number and my dad's phone rang. Karen, the entitled mother, was shocked. He picked up the phone and said, "Hello, this is the owner of Joe's. How can I help you?" Karen's face went red to complete white, like if blood was drained from her. He then said, "Yes, I am the owner and the manager of Joe's, and you are in no way my wife, and the employee you want to be fired is my son." She looked at me and I just could could not hold back my laughter anymore. And just then, her order was ready. But until then, she was already embarrassed enough with the whole time her kid crying in the background. She dragged her kid crying by the arm, didn't even take the order, and we still have a great laugh about it to this day. Man, I can't believe how long the OP let this go on before actually saying anything, and in fact, he didn't really say anything at all. The only reason that the entitled mom in this case ended up finding out that he was the owner's son and she was not the owner's wife was because she called the number outside and talked to the owner directly. It is pretty surprising that she went straight for the wife role instead of all the other roles that the OP thought she might have gone for, a sister or a friend or something. She just straight up said that she was the owner's wife. The most funny comment said, "I wouldn't have been able to resist shouting something to the effect of, 'Mom, you finally came home,' and then tried hugging her while faking tears of joy." And somebody followed this up by saying, "That would be epic and hilarious," and also say, "And I have a little brother. Is he a half brother or were you pregnant by dad when you left?" The bigger a scene is made, the better. That's when people start pulling out their phones and recording the whole thing. If you had to rate this entitlement level 1 out of 10, let me know what you would rate this down below in the comments. A Karen yells at me in a Walmart over apple juice. A few days ago, my mom had to go to Walmart to pick up a prescription and grab a few groceries. She hates Walmart, so we always try to hurry. While she waited in line for the prescription, my brother and I went to go look for the few groceries that we need. We reach the grocery part of the store and start shopping. When we finally go down to the drinks, we see that there are 2 gallons of apple juice left. I go to grab them when a woman comes up. She sees me take them, but I turn around and ask her if she was also coming to get apple juice. She says yes, so I offer her one of them and we can take the other. I don't know how or why she escalated this so fast, but she tells me to give her both of them because she wants them. I tell her again that I'll give her one of them and we will take the other. She is not happy with this and starts demanding that I give her both again. I tell her flat out no. My brother isn't saying anything because he's not good with confrontation and just wanted to get apple juice. I say, "Ma'am, do you want this one or not?" Karen says, "Just give me both. How hard is that to understand? I want them both." So, no then. "Yes, just give me them." As she starts to progress into a scene, my brother starts looking anxious, but he chimes in and says, "Look, we're just trying to be nice." Karen says, "I don't care. Just give them to me. You're wasting my time." I eventually get tired of this and out of spite, put both of them in our cart. I turn around and motion for my brother to follow. She starts yelling, but we just head to the front. It was seriously the stupidest thing ever. So the OP and the brother got there first. Could have easily just taken both of them without saying anything. They offer to give one of them to this lady, and the lady just straight up starts yelling at them. So she wanted 100% of the apple juice, and she ended up getting 100% of nothing. I'm surprised actually that the Karen didn't end up running after the OP and the brother to try and do something further, but it sounds like they were able to just walk away without having any issues beyond that. Let me know what you would rate the entitlement level in this one 1 out of 10 down below. An entitled parent demands college refund money for Disney World. So all this first information is important to understand the rest of the story. I work at a financial aid office for a local private university, and I've only been here for a little over 2 months. It's a stressful job because I'm forced to learn things about the financial aid process I never thought I would need to know, such as how FAFSA forms are processed. The FAFSA is a critical form that students fill out to see how much money you qualify for to pay for your college. A lot of the time, this means the students who have loans, grants, scholarships may get a refund check. These checks can vary depending on a variety of things like how much you qualify for and how much a school takes for tuition, classes, room, board, and other expenses. Sometimes students will get thousands of dollars in refund money. For anyone who plans to get a refund, be sure to never discuss how you're going to use it outside of class requirements because it's a policy to refuse to disperse funds if knowingly used for things outside of school use. Again, this is all important to understand the story. So now, onto the story. So my job as a financial aid assistant is to be a basic office aide, but with the knowledge of a financial aid counselor. Yesterday, a young woman with her entitled dad come into the office. Before I could greet them, the man says,
"Where is the person that's holding my kid's money hostage?"
I was terrified because this man was larger than me and angry. I wanted to cry by the mere loudness of his voice. I managed to say, "Sir, I can see if anyone's available to talk." And he began barking at me about how this is a terrible university and how dare they keep his daughter's money like this. It's a small office, and with my supervisor, who is the director of financial aid, the DFA, and the assistant director, the AD, and a student aide, we're all females. I turn to the open doorway and I see the assistant director looking unimpressed. "I can talk to you and your daughter about her money. Side note, if you're looking for a refund, call the billing department first, not the financial aid office, as we don't really control how it's dispersed." The entitled dad and the girl went into the office, but the door was kept open, so I heard everything that was said. If I wasn't allowed to record things due to privacy reasons, I would have recorded this exchange. The assistant director said, "So, how can I help you? What's going on?" Entitled dad:
"My daughter's refund was supposed to be released by the end of the week. It's Wednesday and it's not in her account."
"Sir, please calm down."
"No, she needs her money because we need it for our trip."
Daughter:
"Dad, I'm not going on a trip."
Entitled dad:
"Yes, you are. Remember, we're going to Disney World."
Assistant director smirks knowingly. "So, you're using your refund to pay for a trip outside of school needs." Daughter: "No, I'm not." Dad:
"Yes, she is. She promised to pay the deposit with that money and we need it now."
Assistant director: "Sir, I must inform you that I cannot allow these funds to be released, as you have just told me that your daughter will be using them outside of school use. This is not allowed."
"What? It's her money and she can do whatever she wants with that money."
Assistant director: "You can only use this money for school-related purchases. This is considered an improper use of funds, which is considered fraud." The OP clarifies here, you can use your refund money however you want, but you should never tell the financial aid office your vacation plans and be a total jerk about it. Most people in financial aid don't care how you spend your refund in general. So, I was still at my desk trying to look like I wasn't hearing this, but this man had a meltdown. I swear I learned more swear words from this guy than in my entire 27 years of life. The girl was also upset, but as she wouldn't be getting her money, I kept my head down as they left the office. I soon got up and checked on my assistant director. "Hey, are you okay?" She nodded, but she clearly needed a few minutes to herself. I don't blame her. That guy was very intimidating, and I don't think it'll be the last we hear of him anytime soon. Man, it sounds like they might have actually been able to help them if they didn't just clearly say that they were going to use all this money on Disneyland. And it's also kind of weird. I mean, they're going to take the daughter's money to pay for the trip for everyone else. I kind of got the vibe that they just made that decision for her. But either way, regardless of who made the decision, the fact that the dad is just straight up telling the office that they need the money for Disneyland is such a bad idea. Even if it wasn't against the policy, why would you even say that? What does it matter what the money is for? In this case, it seems like it gave the financial aid assistant director an easy out to not have to deal with this situation at all. They seem to think that the dad is going to keep coming back, but there's a chance he might be afraid of anything that has to do with fraud, because the assistant director did say that this would be considered fraud, and that's a pretty big deal in any case. So let me know what you would do if you were in this situation, and rate this one 1 out of 10 down below. Entitled woman's kids steal our stuff and refuse to give it back. So there was an Ethiopian woman with 3 kids, and we lived in a collection of units, not apartments, but sort of separate houses, but joined too. This woman's kids would always somehow get into our house, either one way or another. One day, I even remember my mom leaving the garage door open by a sliver, and those kids wriggled their way through the garage door, then entered our house and went straight to my bedroom. Then they steal stuff. Like one day, they stole my dad's 20 Aussie buck sunnies. Then they stole a 30 buck watch I owned, and a $50 pair of my mom's best shoes, and a lot more. They also raided our neighbor's garden and stole multiple plants, which also cost money. And they throw mud onto their house. But that's not the worst part. I mean, they don't know any better, so we let the kids go. But we confronted the mother, who's a single mom, and her reply was, "Oh, we'll give them back." And us, being naive, we accepted and went back to our house. A few weeks later, we go ask again, but yet again, they give the same response. To this day, I dread what we did. but we brushed it off. And it's not like the Aussie police would do anything, considering the value of the stuff they stole, and they were renters too. I didn't know what to do after this point, and I would have reported them to the landlord and get them a warning, but my second thought said that would be too cruel. And just before we went to ask again, sternly this time, they left with the stuff they stole. A message to the kid's mother: if you're reading this, you should have parented your kids. You're lucky I didn't report you. Whenever I hear about stories like this, the first thing I could think is maybe that family was just really in need. And maybe they didn't need these specific items, but they were selling them or doing something to get by. The hard part becomes when you have both families in need. I mean, it sounds like neither one of these families was exactly a rich family, and both of them are just doing what they have to in order to get by. But obviously that doesn't mean that it's okay to just let people steal things from you. It seems like the OP's biggest regret was that they were too naive and believed when this other family told them that they would give their stuff back. I mean, that is weird. I mean, they shouldn't have the stuff for any period of time. I mean, what was the reason behind it? That they were going to use it and then give it back to them? The kids broke into the house, stole what they stole, they were going to use it, and then the OP said, okay, sure, just give it to me later. Let me know what you would do if this was your house and you had these things taken and then the family took off, moving somewhere else. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel with notifications turned on, follow on Instagram, and check out the podcast if you're into that kind of thing, linked down below. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next time.